welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nadia Adam. I'm a Vedic astrologer and psychic medium. So today I thought to make a educational video about moon in Vedic astrology or Jyotish, how to read it, how to interpret it, and how you can really navigate your own chart. All right. So I got a lot of questions of how or the best way how we can really read the chart, read the energy, but it's more as an intuitive and insight rather than just like reading the book. Moon is Aries, this and that. Moon is this here and that. So I'm going to start to kind of make more videos of teaching and interpreting astrology, the placement, and how we can really have that effective tool, we can say, to read astrology in a modern way. Okay, I'm not saying that the scripts and the way how we used to read astrology is wrong, but is that I feel with the time change and the era and the way how life is just unfolding, the old ways and system where we interpret the planets and energy can be slightly different. All right. Let's say, for example, we have a moon that we were talking today about moon. Some in the script, for example, moon in Scorpio, it's considered to be a negative thing or a bad thing, right? Which is not necessarily the case all the time. So my purpose in this whole series is to understand, to interpret the planet in different way or look at it from different perspective. All right, I'm not trying to change anything, I'm not trying to influence anyone. It's just that, okay, what if we look at the planets in different way, different interpretation, therefore perhaps we're going to be able to get a different result. All right, so that's my point. Anyway, today we are going to talk about mostly moon. Okay, what is moon, how we can read it, how we can really dig deep into it. All right, so I usually tell my student we have something we call as a big tree. Okay, so the big tree usually consists of ascendant, moon, okay, and then we have sun. So this tree actually gives us it gives us the foundation of how we can interpret personality, character, and the way how we think. Okay, so we can actually think as our lagna, our moon and sun, or we're gonna be like combine all of them like 35%, 35%, 35%, right? Something like that. It will be kind of blend together in order for us to create you as a person. Okay, so the main three things that you need to look at is again ascendant, moon, and sun. So now today we're going to focus on moon. Okay, so moon is actually number one, is the planet that shows us our emotion. Okay, that's mean how our brain actually think. When you have that inner talk within you, uh interpreting yourself, interpreting others, or taking your time, for example, before you're replying, before you're talking, you need to actually look at your moon, because this is the way how you will think. Okay, not necessarily maybe something that I'm gonna tell you about it, not necessarily something I'm going to convey to people. Yeah, not necessarily also people will know how I think. Some people like think in some ways and then they will act in different ways, right? We know that. We've seen that a lot with people. They say something and then they will do something else. It's all actually correlating to our moon. So with moon, I always say that it's kind of the replica of Mercury. Okay, because Mercury and moon, both of them are quite intertwined, because Mercury will give us that common sense thinking, moon will give us that emotional thinking. All right, so moon definitely is one of the most important planet in our chart. All right, again, that shows our thinking, our inner emotion, the way how we can relate to close people to on with us. All right, so that's mean when we are actually meeting someone, okay, we're not necessarily showing them our moon or the way how we think. We could be more, the first impression that we usually give is related to our ascendant and sun, not actually moon. Moon is something that you're going to explore on the person when you get closer to them. Oh, sorry. Here we go again. Okay. So moon is something or aspect on the personality that you will get to know about when you become closer to them. All right. So you can see that vulnerability aspect on them. You see how they think when they are stressed, how they feel when they are stressed, how they act and behave when they are happy. So moon, again, like in general mundane level is the ruler of our fourth house, right? Natural fourth house, regardless of whatever is your fourth house. Could be Leo, could be Cancer, could be Saturn, whatever it is. This box here, this house, always shows us the placement or aspect related to our comfort zone, our emotion, okay, and also inner being, we can say, right? So when I'm gonna show you these things, when I'm gonna come and invite you to my house, right? This is kind of like, this is house, my home, my family, right? The closest people to me. So when I'm gonna come and invite you to this place, definitely when I get closer to you, that means I trust you, I know you, I really feel connected to you. Therefore, I will let you come and enter to my house, which is the same thing on moon. So when you go and meet people at the beginning, you may not be actually analyzing and able to see their moon. You are actually seeing and analyzing their sun and their lagna. Okay, lagna is can be quite complex combination. We're gonna talk about it later on, but moon is sun is the first thing that you're gonna get into when you know someone, understand them, then only will get into their moon. All right. So this is moon in nutshell, we can say. All right, in the summary. Now, moon can feel comfortable, of course, in certain houses, in certain sign, and may feel discomfort in certain houses and in certain zodiac sign. Okay, so the most stable moon, we can say moon is excellent. Okay, moon is excellent when it's in the earth sign. Okay, and number two, when it's actually sitting in the air sign. Now people gonna cut to me, no, how come, cannot, da 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 da, and all of this. Again, I may not be I don't want to say like I'm unconventional, I'm unorthodox and all of that, but I am going to teach or talk based on my own experience. Okay, I've been in industry for a while, so I've seen charts, I've been experiencing and reading people energy. Therefore, it's all based on my interpretation, right? Because I know some astrologer may not really agreeing with whatever I'm gonna say here. Okay, and I'm not here to agree with anyone. Okay, so moon here mostly feel comfortable when it's in the earth sign and air sign. Why is that? Moon is a tiny planet. That's mean whenever I'm gonna sit, it will start to maneuver itself becoming that particular zodiac sign. Okay, so that's mean if let's say moon here sitting in Capricorn, I will become like a Capricorn person. I will think like Capricorn. I will think like Shani. Okay, moon here sitting in third house. This person will start to think as a Gemini. I will think and act and behave internally. Maybe later on, when you get to know me, I'll become like a Mercury fellow. Okay, let's say, for example, again, Venus moon sitting in the seventh house. I will act and behave as a Cancer, as a Libra or as a Venus. So, moon is the planet that can adapt. Okay, can adapt and can change depend on which sign it sits, in which house it sits. So, I believe moon is will be much more comfortable as in terms of being very grounded, very mature, able to think logically, or creating that balance within them when it sits in the earth sign, which means Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Okay, and also the second that I think is favorable for me is when it sits in Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Why is that? When it's on earth side, it shows that the person will be very much grounded, very mature, very much not really impulsive in nature. The way how they analyze and think is not an impulsive way. They can somehow somewhere blend between the common sense and emotion. That's why in the middle of every earth sign we have moon nakshatra, right? Common sense. This is the easiest way how you can understand this. Every earth sign we will have nakshatra ruled by moon. Rohini, Hasta, and Sharavan nakshatra. Okay. So this is one of the reasons. Now, when it comes to the air sign, always remember, air is movement. That's mean I might be thundering in this place right now, and then I may change my opinion about it in another placement. That's mean moon here can actually maneuver itself according and depend on the situation. Moon in the air sign, it shows the person does not really take things to their heart. They are quite be able to forgive. They can really go with the flow. They're not really stressing out themselves a lot. Different when it sits in the fire sign. Okay, when it sits in the fire sign or also water sign. So in this placement, moon will be hyper. If let's say you have actually lack of water placement in your chart, then fine. Okay, moon in water, then that's mean good. If let's say you have lack of fire, you don't have any planet in the fire, it's only moon. You don't have any planet in water, it's only moon, then great. I would say that's very good. It will create a balance in your chart. But if let's say moon becoming excessive in water sign, or you have other placement also in water, it shows the person becoming hyper in their emotion, hyper emotional, hyper reactive. Same thing with the fire, hyper protective, hyper in taking things to their heart. So it can be slightly difficult for them to how can I say, control their emotions sometimes, or maybe analyzing themselves and people because they will be caught up on it. That doesn't mean that the person will be bad. That doesn't mean the person have no self-control. They will have self-control. It depends on other planets where it sits, right? But their mind can get irritated more frequent than people who have moon in air or earth's element. Okay, so now let us talk about each zodiac sign, all right, for moon placement. So let's say, for example, let us talk about what a fire element, okay? So let's say moon here sitting in Aries, moon in Leo, or moon, let's say, is in Sagittarius. Okay. So moon in Aries, it shows the person here, or even with Leo and Sagittarius. Three of them will be creating the same energy because they are sitting in the Dharma Trikona. That's mean this person will be always active in taking action and decision. They will be always active in taking initiation. Their mind can be quite difficult to calm it down because it's always in the mood of activity. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to go ahead to do this and that, all right? They will be always also in the mood to learn new things, developing themselves, or let's say, for example, we'll be developing people, right? We will find this type of placement with the people who want to actually teach and preach, or they have interest actually to learn different subjects in their life. They can be quite adamant towards their family, towards their possession, all right, towards their teaching, mentor, father. They can be quite knowing what they want, what they need in life, all right? Very straight minded and straightforward personality and character. They will start to embodying the energy of Brahma. So let's say, for example, people will naturally come to them when they want to execute something. Let's say I want to build a house. Okay, random example. I want to build a house, but I don't know from where I'm gonna start. I don't know how to do that even. So I'm gonna go to the person who have moon in fire element. So they will start to plan things for me. Oh, we need to go to this person, that person. We need to take this action, this and that. We need to do some legal paper. Da, 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 da. They will start to plan for me what exactly I need to do. Why? Because moon here in the energy of creation. Their mind is always in the heaviness of I want to create something. I want to leave a legacy. Even not necessarily means in the larger scale where I can impact and influence the countries and all. Could be maybe in the small scale as my family, community, all right, my state. So you will find moon in this placement. Their relationship with their mother usually is quite good because moon also connected to mother. Okay, usually it's quite good, and sometimes it shows that the person is connected to the lineage of the mother, right? Especially like a grandfather or the paternal. uh, family of the mother, something like that. All right. So this is for moon in the fire element. Now, when it comes to earth, moon in earth element. So moon here, it can be considered also as an excellent placement, in my opinion. All right. Because it shows that it can be very much grounded, mature, and able to really think and take their time before they take any action and decision in their life. Right? You will find them quite good in managing material aspect of life. Let's say, for example, making enough money to sustain themselves, how I can take care of my family, how I can manage my finance, how I can really take care of others around me. So they are people who can really execute the task very well. So you will find people with such moon. Sometimes I have noticed it, people who have problems and issues in their life, right? Or people who need help and support. Moon in earth sign will be always there for them. Literally, when I need help or something, I'll go with the moon with the earth because I know somehow, some way they will have the right connection, the right planning, the right, I don't know, maybe resources, all right, that can actually help me in order for me to get whatever I want done or to get me out of this trouble. Moon in earth, it usually shows the person will have good amount of wealth, prosperity, and it's kind of blessing of Mahalakshmi. It's the same thing with the water, but on earth also we can see it very strongly that the person here will be always able to get blessing. Okay, moon here is very clever when it comes to working in corporate, working in the business set, right? They know when and how and what to plan things and when to get it and when to sell it, etc. You will find especially moon in Taurus and Capricorn, they are very good in numbers. You will find them a lot working in finance, for example, business management or accountancy, etc. Especially you will find it a lot when you have, even forget about moon, when you have a lot of planet even in Taurus or Capricorn or Virgo, okay, or they are lagna in your D10 chart. Okay, so this is for the earth sign. Now if let's assume we have if let's assume we have here moon in the air, all right, that's mean in Gemini, Libra, and then also in Aquarius. Air, always remember this. It's a movement. That's mean I might be raining in this place, okay, right now. And then after that, I may stop in within, I don't know, 1 hour, 2 hour, and then I'll start to rain somewhere else. And then suddenly I will give you the sunlight here. It's air. That means I am moving. So you'll find people with air element, they are very kind, by the way. They are very kind, very loving, very caring towards people. They pardon them and always compromising themselves for people and surrounding. Okay, so there are people who really cannot say no. There are people who cannot really reject people help and support. They are always trying their best to do what they can and then they move on it. So one thing maybe it can be slightly negative here, that they may have a tendency to change their mind, right? But not necessary. If let's say for example people have such placement and then they have another placement in earth or water element, that's mean they actually not gonna change their mind that frequent. Okay, but if let's say the person here has a lot and huge energy in the air, right, they lacking water, they lacking earth element even in their navamsha, then this case can be a problem. That's mean true enough they can get into a dilemma here, dilemma confusion until they get that decision that they want. All right, now moon in such placement is very good when it comes to learning and creating connection, professional network circle. You'll find these people are quite skillful regardless of whatever that skill is. Could be something actually they are doing something with their hand or something with the computer brain or something, or it should be also related to their speech and communication. Therefore they are becoming wonderful people if they work in marketing, sales, all right, e-commerce, public relation, becoming a lawyer, etc., etc. You will find definitely every lawyer, they will have some placement related to the air sign, right? Could be their lagna, could be definitely their moon, or could be the house that is governing their 10th house. Okay, so now when it comes lastly for the water sign. So for the water sign here, moon can be hyper emotional in nature and but at the same time very intuitive. Okay, so unless moon sits under nakshatra of Saturn itself. Okay, that's mean, for example, here it will be in Pushya nakshatra, in Anuradha or in Uttarabhadrapada, then moon here can be very settled. Okay, very settled, very clever in very sneaky way. But if let's say it sits in the early sign or early degree of water or late degree of water, this can be slightly a problem because they can become hyper emotional, hypersensitive, hyper overthink, overanalyze, and they can feel a lot. Now, feel a lot can be also related to their intuition, right? Or their internal power. They will have like a portal that can connect them to God and they start to channel a lot of energies. So as if like they know something is about to happen, even though they don't have a common sense why it's about to happen. Right, so their intuition is very hyperly strong. The more that they will be able to control it, I don't want to say manipulate it, but control, manipulate it, or polish it in the way that it can be quite productive for them. Okay, let's say, for example, becoming a psychic reader, becoming a intuitive a person, again like a healer, etc. The easier the moon gonna get for them. Okay, but moon here shows that it has a huge amount of blessing, a blessing from Mahalakshmi, blessing from the higher energy. This person will be always feel protected, supported, and guided, whether it's from their family or they will feel it from their core that they are always protected and supported from the divine. Right, a moon in the water, it could be one of the blessed placement when it comes to finance and security, again like a prosperity we can say. But the only downfall here that the moon can find itself a bit weak. Moon is a water planet, so when you put water with the water, you will have a fall like a tsunami, right? Like a floating everywhere. So it's just the same thing. When they are happy, they're super happy. When they are sad, they're super sad. But they are very, very kind people. That's for sure. Okay. So that's it. Today it was a quick lesson of moon, how to read it, how to navigate it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening and see you soon. Bye bye.